There's a secret hidden in plain sight. A secret that explains why America became the richest nation on earth. But here's what they don't teach you in school. America wasn't built on freedom or democracy or liberty. Those were the marketing slogans. America was built on something far more powerful, something far more dangerous. Money, but not just any money. We're talking about the most audacious financial experiment in human history. An experiment that nearly failed 3 times before it even began. An experiment that sparked a civil war between the founding fathers themselves. An experiment that, today, controls the entire global economy. And here's the twist. The system we have now is the opposite of what the founders created. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change how you see every dollar in your wallet. Part 1. December 16, 1773, Boston Harbor. A group of men, faces painted, disguised as Mohawk warriors, boards 3 British ships in the dead of night. But they're not there to steal. They're there to destroy. Over the next 3 hours, they smash open 342 chests and dump 92,000 pounds of tea into the harbor. In today's money, that's over $1.7 million of property destroyed in one night. The British called it terrorism. The colonists called it justice. But here's what nobody tells you. This wasn't really about tea at all. This was about a financial stranglehold. The British East India Company had a monopoly. They could set any price they wanted, and colonists had to pay. But it went deeper than that. Every tax, every trade restriction, every regulation was designed for one purpose: extract wealth from the colonies and send it to London. The Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts. Each one tightened the noose. No taxation without representation sounds noble, doesn't it? But here's the raw truth. It was about money. Pure and simple. The colonists weren't being taxed to support their own communities. They were being taxed to enrich people they'd never met, in a country they'd never see, for wars they didn't start. Imagine this. You work all year, you build a business, you sacrifice, and then someone thousands of miles away who's never stepped foot in your town says, "Give me 30% of everything you make." Oh, and you don't get a say in how we spend it. That's not taxation. That's theft with a legal stamp. And that's why the revolution happened. Not because of philosophy, because Americans were being robbed. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Because when the revolution started, the colonists faced an impossible question. How do you fund a war against the richest empire on earth when you re-broke? The answer they came up with nearly destroyed America before it even existed. Part 2, June 1775. The Continental Congress has a problem. A massive, terrifying problem. They need to pay soldiers. They need to buy weapons, food, uniforms, gunpowder. They need to fund a war that could last years. But they have no money, no gold, no silver, no tax system, nothing. So they make a desperate gamble. They decide to print their own currency, the Continental Dollar. And if you think this sounds like a bad idea, you're right. It was worse than you can possibly imagine. At first, it works. Soldiers get paid. Supplies are purchased. The war effort continues. But there is a poison pill hidden inside this solution. The Continental Dollar is backed by absolutely nothing. It's a promise from a government that doesn't officially exist yet, fighting a war they're probably going to lose. And the Congress keeps printing more and more and more. Within 4 years, they've printed over $240 million. But here's the nightmare. As they print more, each dollar becomes worth less. It's basic economics, but the Congress either doesn't understand or doesn't care. By 1779, here's what's happening on the ground. A soldier is paid 100 Continental dollars for a month of service. He takes his pay to buy bread for his family. The baker laughs in his face. Those $100. They're worth $1 in actual silver. $1. Imagine working for an entire month, risking your life in combat, and getting paid enough to buy a single loaf of bread. This is hyperinflation. And it's destroying the revolution from the inside. Merchants refuse continental currency. Farmers won't sell food for it. Soldiers desert because they can't feed their families. George Washington himself writes desperate letters describing soldiers naked, starving, and ready to mutiny. The phrase "not worth a continental" enters the American vocabulary as the ultimate insult. It means worthless, trash, less than nothing. And here's the truly terrifying part. This almost cost America the war. France, watching the financial collapse, nearly pulled their support. Why back a losing side that can't even manage their own currency? But somehow, the colonies win. Against all odds. Against the odds of economics itself. And when the war ends, the founders face the ruins of their own financial system. The continental currency is dead. The economy is shattered. And they swear, never again. Never again will America make this mistake. But wait, because a man is waiting in the shadows. A man with a plan that will save America. Or, depending on who you ask, sell its soul. His name is Alexander Hamilton. Part 3, the Constitution is ratified. George Washington is president. And the United States is bankrupt. Each state has its own currency. Each state has crushing debts. There's no unified economy, no banking system, no credibility. Foreign investors consider American bonds worthless paper. Enter Alexander Hamilton. Age 34, first Secretary of the Treasury, an immigrant from the Caribbean who rose from poverty through sheer brilliance and ambition. And Hamilton has a plan. A radical, dangerous, brilliant plan that will either save America or destroy it. Picture this. Hamilton walks into Congress in 1790 and presents 3 proposals that sound insane. First proposal: the federal government should assume all state debts from the Revolution, every penny, even though some states already paid their debts and some didn't. The southern states explode with rage. Virginia's already paid most of its debt. Why should they bail out Massachusetts? It's financial suicide. But Hamilton sees something they don't. By making state debts into national debt, you bind the entire country together. Everyone has skin in the game. Everyone needs the federal government to succeed because everyone's debt depends on it. Genius or tyranny? The debate nearly tears the country apart. Second proposal: America will pay all its debts. In full. Always. No exceptions. No defaults. Ever. This sounds obvious now, but in 1790, it's revolutionary. Spain defaults on debts. France defaults. Britain renegotiates. That's what countries do when they can't pay. But Hamilton understands something profound. America's real power isn't land or resources or military might. It's trust. If America always pays its debts, investors will always lend at low rates. Trust is the ultimate weapon. Third proposal: create the first bank of the United States, a central bank that would control currency, make loans, hold government funds, and manage the economy. And this proposal starts a war. Not with bullets. With words. With power. With 2 completely opposite visions of what America should become. Because Thomas Jefferson and James Madison look at Hamilton's bank and see a nightmare. A concentration of financial power that will crush the common man and create a new aristocracy of bankers and merchants. The debate becomes vicious, personal, brutal. Jefferson accuses Hamilton of betraying the revolution to recreate British tyranny. Hamilton accuses Jefferson of being a naive dreamer who'll leave America poor and weak. Cabinet meetings become screaming matches. Both men fund newspapers to attack each other with vicious propaganda. The friendship between Jefferson and Hamilton, once respectful, becomes pure hatred. But here's what's really at stake. 2 completely different versions of America's future. Jefferson wants a nation of small farmers, weak federal government, strong states, no banks, no industry, an agrarian paradise of rural virtue. Hamilton wants a manufacturing powerhouse with a strong central government, powerful banks, cities, trade, and the economic muscle to rival Britain. Washington has to choose. The fate of the country hangs in the balance. And Washington sides with Hamilton. The bank is created in 1791, and it works. Within a decade, American bonds are trading at premium prices in Europe. The economy stabilizes. Industry grows. Hamilton's system succeeds. But the battle isn't over. Not even close. Because every generation of Americans will fight this same war over and over again. Who controls the money? The people or the bankers? The states or the federal government? That war is still being fought today. Part 4 here, as something that will blow your mind. America has created and destroyed its central bank 3 times in history. Think about that. The most powerful financial tool a nation can have. And America keeps building it, then tearing it down, then building it again. Why? Because Americans have never trusted centralized financial power. The first bank of the United States operates for 20 years. It does exactly what Hamilton promised. Stabilizes currency, enables trade, builds prosperity. But when its charter expires in 1811, Congress votes to destroy it. By a single vote. The result? Immediate chaos. State banks print worthless currency. The economy collapses. When the War of 1812 starts, the government can barely fund it. 5 years later, Congress creates the second bank of the United States. Same concept, same purpose. And for a while, it works. But then, Andrew Jackson becomes president in 1829. and Jackson hates the bank with every fiber of his being. He calls it a monster, a corrupt institution that serves wealthy elites and crushes ordinary Americans. He makes destroying the bank his personal mission. The bank fights back. Its president, Nicholas Biddle, tries to economically destroy Jackson by calling in loans and creating a credit crisis. He's basically holding the economy hostage, trying to prove the country needs the bank. But Jackson doesn't blink. He removes all federal deposits from the bank. He vetoes its charter renewal. And in 1836, he kills it. The second bank dies. And America goes without a central bank for 77 years. 77 years of financial chaos. Banking panics every few years. Economic depressions. Currency instability. Finally, in 1913, Congress creates the Federal Reserve, America's third central bank. And this one survives. So far. But here's the question that should haunt you. Why do Americans keep destroying their central banks? What are they so afraid of? The answer is simple and terrifying. Concentrated power corrupts. Every time. And when that power controls the money supply, it controls everything. The founders understood this. They'd just fought a revolution against economic control. They feared centralized financial power as much as they feared tyranny. And that fear was about to be proven justified in the most shocking way possible. Part 5, let me show you something. Pull out a dollar bill. Any dollar. Look at it. It says Federal Reserve Note. Do you know what that means? It means the Federal Reserve promises this paper is worth $1. But here's the question nobody asks. $1 of WHAT. In 1792, that question had a simple answer. $1 equaled a specific weight of silver or gold. You could take your paper dollar to any bank and exchange it for actual precious metal. The dollar represented real, tangible value. This wasn't just tradition. It was a safeguard, a limit on government power. Because if dollars are backed by gold, the government can't print unlimited money. They can only print as many dollars as they have gold to back them. This system worked for over 150 years. From 1792 to 1971, the dollar's value was tied to precious metals. But then something happened. Something that changed everything. Something that the founders would have considered the ultimate betrayal of everything they built. August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon appears on television and makes an announcement that shocks the world. The United States is severing the dollar's link to gold. Permanently. From that moment forward, the dollar is backed by nothing. Not gold. Not silver. Not anything tangible. Just faith. Faith in the US government. That's it. This is called fiat currency. It means the dollar has value because the government says so. And because people believe it. Think about what this means. The Federal Reserve can now create money out of thin air. Literally. They don't need gold. They don't need silver. They just add zeros to a computer. In 2008, they created trillions of dollars to bail out banks. In 2020, they created trillions more for stimulus. Where did that money come from? Nowhere. It was just created. The founders specifically designed a system to prevent this. They remembered the continental currency becoming worthless. They remembered the pain of inflation. They built a gold and silver standard to make sure the government could never print unlimited money. And in 1971, that safeguard was removed. Now here's the really disturbing part. Most people don't know this happened. They don't know that modern dollars are fundamentally different from historical dollars. They don't know that the money in their bank account is backed by nothing, but trust in a government that has $35 trillion in debt. And here's the question you should be asking. What happens when that trust breaks? Because throughout history, every single fiat currency has eventually failed. Every single one. The continental dollar collapsed. The French assignat collapsed. The German Reichsmark collapsed. The Zimbabwean dollar collapsed. Fiat currencies last an average of 27 years before they either fail completely or lose most of their value. The modern dollar has been a pure fiat currency for 53 years. So here's the secret I promised you at the beginning. America wasn't built on abstract ideals. It was built on money, on financial innovation, on economic power. The revolution was a tax rebellion. The early republic nearly collapsed from currency inflation. The founders went to war with each other over banking. And the modern dollar is nothing like what the founders created. Every crisis in American history, at its core, is a crisis about money and who controls it. And here's what makes this so relevant today. We're reliving through the same battles right now. Who should control the money supply? How much should the government be able to print? Should currency be backed by something real, or just by faith? These aren't just historical questions. These are to wise questions. The difference is, Most people don't even know these battles are happening, but now you do. You understand that the dollar in your pocket is part of an experiment that started in 1776 and continues today. An experiment that succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. But that also carries risks the founders tried desperately to prevent. The founders gave us a republic and a currency backed by gold. Benjamin Franklin warned us, when the people find that they can vote themselves money, that will herald the end of the republic. We now live in a world where the government can create unlimited money with a keystroke. The question isn't whether the founders would recognize our financial system. They wouldn't. The question is, would they be terrified of what we've become? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to understand the real story of American money. Because the history they don't teach you in school, that's the history that actually matters.